Those who are awake and wise, they're far and few. You think all of Africa was enlightened? Nope. Just a few dudes like you. That's it. And everybody else said, who is he? He think he better than everybody else. What you doing? What is that you building? He's like, well, it's going to be called a
We are live in the flesh, live and in living color. 2020 Vision Talk. We are the Gold Special Edition with the teacher, the blast master, the walking legend. Man, my brother, I'm always grateful to be in your presence. I'm grateful to be a student, to be able to. I'm grateful to have connected to the messages, you know, to the teachings. But we here, you know, big manifestations. You know, I called myself a master student last time I seen you, you know, so, you know, I let the word speak for itself.
You guys are doing it. Doing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, I am so proud to be here today.
Man.
This is amazing. You're at the cutting edge of history. That's what we just talked about. The cutting edge of history. And sometimes you take yourself for granted. You say, look, I'm just doing what I think is right. I'm doing what it's obvious. Let's just do this. But sometimes that do what's right is the beginning of a whole new universe. And this here, just being here, shows me that, you know, again, your words are so important. What you say, how you manifest. Listen, this is going to be the beginning of something huge.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, not going to be the beginning. It is the beginning of something huge. I'm already down the line. You know, I'm already down the line with everything built out. I'm actually looking down this little area, this little alcove area down there. I was like, man, you know what? Temple of Hip Hop, I might be able to put a little building, a little something, a little school, something, little, you know, a little something there, or even my house. Just a straight up and down living quarters. You know, just straight up, it's like right there, they what? You know, but look, even the opportunity to be able to do that is huge. When I was driving here, you know, little road, you turn off this little road, and then you go down, you feel the freedom though. You feel the freedom though. You feel like you turned off the world. You know, you just went down some other road. And that's what a lot of people gotta do these days. They gotta find a dirt road. You know, get off that main highway and find that dirt road and get over to a place that, you know, you can blast your music without nobody beefing. I mean, where we come from, you can't turn nothing up.
You gotta get permits.
Permits, and look at neighbors, just neighbors.
Police would have been come,
already.
Remember at the event we had in Wilmington,
oh man, my man came out
came out like great show, but
time to wrap it up, guys.
Time to get it out of here.
Now the beautiful thing is, you are a contributing factor to this manifestation, to this space, to this freedom, because you spoke it.
No
You
doubt.
spoke it directly to his face
No doubt.
during that interview.
No
So
doubt.
it was beautiful to reconnect with you last year at the Crown in Greensboro.
Yeah.
You know, to get you to sign a bottle of live alkaline water.
Yes.
You know, but to, you know, just be there and let you know like you were part of this manifestation. It's here. And we got to get you here.
You just reminded me. Let me take another swig.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Because this is nice. And you getting it right outside.
Cheers to that.
Let me get some of that.
Get some of that. It's right outside.
Bigger than the drinking it, you know what I mean? The people that's living here is bathing in it. Constantly, the plants are drinking of this, they're eating of this, the chickens that's out there. It's a continuous cycle. You know what this is called live because it's from a living source.
Right.
So it's a continuous living cycle that's happening out here.
I saw your pond. What is that? A reservoir?
I mean, well, you said one time that if you call it a oobla gobbler, it is what it is, right? So whatever you want to call it right now, it is what it is.
A fountain of youth.
There we go.
Wow, right. I was admiring your water and irrigation, your water system. As I was saying when I first walked in, all civilizations begin with water. You have to have a water source to start your civilization. Of you guys went right there, water source, and that's what's so amazing is that this thing is going to work. This thing is going to work. I'm proud to announce it, you know, and keep the word going as well. We need to come back. You need to tell me what some of your plans are. The gentleman that I met, the Baba.
Chief.
Right here, Chief.
Emmy Wood.
I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
Much love.
The bottom to the top to the bottom, turn it upside down. Oh, come on, right.
Direct.
And it's just a great place. It's a great place to be, and it's hopeful because I know there's a liberated zone on the planet, someplace you can go to and relax, and the world shouldn't know that. Actually, maybe the world shouldn't know that.
And to an extent, I just want to add because I do wrestle with the idea sometimes, like, so we do have a lot of like, oh, nah, I don't want to speak on it or share with nobody and things like that. And growing up, I was the laid back, quiet one. I was an analyst, so I'm watching the world, watching people. But then when I went to A&T, got to college, I'm in my own independence. My first semester of school, I was trying to be so independent in my own zone, but as I grew and elevated, I started to learn the power of my voice, the power of speaking things into existence, and the more I would share, the more people would just add suggestions, add resources, add direction. Another example in that realm is like Nipsey Hussle. He could have been like, oh, I don't want to share this idea I have for this Dr. Sebi documentary.
Right.
But he shared it. Even before he started the process of doing it.
Right.
Most people like, nah, let me start it, let me put a release date on it, get it official, get the patent, woo all that before I'm going to speak on it. But he spoke on it.
Right.
So once he transitioned, it was too late. It was already out there in the universe. Right. So, what do you say to that whole idea of, like, because some of it I'm like to fill this up, to market this event, you gotta tell everybody. You gotta tell the world,
Wow.
Like, what do we do in wrestling being so, secretive? Or sharing it and leaning on the protection of God, the ancestors, like, what do you say in that whole thought and idea?
You see, that's an ancient challenge. That very challenge right there is what all civilizations have to deal with.
If I could add this too, I just thought about, so in the Black Panther, they had where they wanted to keep it secluded,
right?
And they was flourishing at that point. Then when they opened it up to the world, all the chaos came in. So it's like,
this is a tough one.
Yeah.
This is a tough one because there's a part of me that would say no, keep it to yourself. And keep it to yourself means say membership base.
Yeah, facts.
Or something like that.
That's why we didn't release the address.
Right. Oh, word.
You gotta check in.
Check in
Get
and
the next level.
Right. That's a way of dealing with that because let's be real. You don't want everybody in here.
No.
You don't. You don't want everybody in here. But at the same time, some people need to be in here. And I mean need to. Not because they got problems and all of that, but that they don't see themselves in the world. And you're giving people a chance to see themselves in the world and as they probably really are. Oh, you think like I think? Yeah. Oh, you doing the same? Yeah. I wouldn't have met you unless we had the same environment.
Right.
So there's some people in the world that do need to come home, so to speak, and have that place to come home. But I'll tell you the truth, man. It's like, you know, I'd put some time on it. Maybe say, like I said, start membership base, and then give that 3 years. And advertise, you know, because here's the point with advertising, is that you have to exist. Part of your power is going to be what people perceive about you. Eventually, you're going to have to talk to the IMF, and not necessarily them, but something like it.
What is that? What's that?
Like, okay, with any success, here comes the corporations. This is going to be successful. Here comes the corporations.
Sure.
I'll give you an example. When hip hop was starting to get commercially big in the end of the 80s, early 90s, we started to see the first $1 million come in. Somebody was able to say, I made $1 million. And it was like, ooh, okay, money started coming in. We knew what was gonna happen. We said, we're gonna get successful, and then these corporations gonna come in. And then what they're gonna do is try to define our culture so they can make money from it. We saw this in '89. So what we did in '92, '94, we said, here's a strategy. I am hip hop. This was a strategy. We are not just doing hip hop, we are hip hop. Rap is something we do, hip hop is something we live. I am hip hop. Now that strategy went out to protect the culture because these corporations could not define it after that. The key is in the definition. Those that control meaning control reality. If you control the meaning of something, not the thing, but the meaning of it, you can get people to do anything around your meaning.
Right. Perception.
Perception. They perceive it this way.
Right.
I offer that because this is in the same situation. How this place is perceived is going to be its success. How it's perceived. So you should think about how you may want to be perceived. And keep in mind, it's not one perception. There's a financial perception. There is a spiritual perception. There is a cultural perception. There's a, I want to say political, but I say socio-political, like how the people move around you,
Right.
what they think about you. That takes work. That takes a certain amount of work because you are advertising and you're marketing yourself. You are advertising it. But and the reason you're advertising is because you have to exist. You have to exist for you to exist. Like we can't exist only in our own mind. You can actually, but not with land. Land is outside, it's there. So how do people perceive there? And keep in mind, you're not the first. You're the first for hip hop, but you're not the first for people. I would say for black people, but really for people. People have tried this before. One of the last things I said here was to maintain slandering each other's names or bad mouth, worry, stress, suspicion, all that. That's what destroys community. It's a hard thing to get past because everybody in the community gotta agree. No matter how crazy you get, I'm still with you. No matter how crazy I get, you still with me. I can't get too crazy. Okay, can't get too wild. But once I understand you, I understand your ways, I understand what you're about. Let's just agree to be brothers and sisters, and let's just, like, this is what the 10 Commandments is about. We're not gonna kill, we're not gonna steal, we're not gonna covet each other's stuff. Can we agree on this? And if we can agree on this, we can maintain our community. But this is the hardest thing. This is the simplest stuff, is the hardest. And this is the hard thing right here. Can you forgive your brothers and sisters? Can you overlook their shortcomings? If you make a mistake yourself, are you willing to own up to it? And say, damn, that was a mistake. I don't know what I was thinking about. It'll never happen again. And we move on. But this is community. So I say, when you advertise yourself, if you advertise a community of forgiveness and mercy, togetherness and charity, love and peace, you're gonna be successful. All type of people gonna be here. Looking for that, okay? How do you deal with that? Do you even want that? There's other communities that forbid their teachers from giving out the secrets. There's a conspiracy that Bruce Lee was killed because of this. He gave away the techniques. Jesus was accused, Yeshua was accused of this. What are you teaching these Gentiles the way? There's something about having something holy and keeping it to yourself. There's something about that. The saying is throwing pearl to swine.
Right.
Throwing diamonds to dogs. And not that anybody's being called a dog here, but there is something to be said about giving quality to those that don't understand what they got. Don't understand. A dog doesn't understand a diamond, you know, like that. So they just throw the, you know, they don't even understand it. And here you are sitting on a sovereign space. You're sitting on a sovereign space, self-governed space. How you gonna explain that to the dude in the projects? I never even heard the word sovereignty. I never even heard the word. I wake up every day and it's the bodega back to the apartment. What do you mean? Sovereign? I'm gonna look that up. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm already free.
I'm already free.
Yeah. I can help myself to this 40, ain't no thing.
I run this block.
Right. That's my hood.
I run this playground. You are lost.
Yeah.
Right.
You're lost. Now, in that, trying to keep in mind that dude always existed. When the pyramids were being built, that dude existed. Okay, that dude is always there. Those who are awake and wise, they're far and few. You think all of Africa was enlightened? Nope. Just a few dudes like you. That's it. And everybody else said, who is he? He think he better than everybody else. What you doing? What is that you building? He's like, well, it's going to be called the Sphinx. When I'm done, it's going to be a temple to the visitor. Oh, think, winks, jinx, kinks. Oh, look at this dude.
Right.
The story is told over and over again throughout human history. Noah, what am I talking about? Noah, what am I saying?
Right.
Okay, the story of Noah.
You're drunk.
Yeah, drunk. What are you building? Look,
Right.
There's something coming, y'all. Get out of here.
Right.
Same thing with Lot. Lot tried to warn the people too, Sodom and Gomorrah. Ran around, yo, you need to get it together. Nope, the angel came looking for one person. They said, if we can find one person to save, we'll save this whole place with one person. And this the trick to Lot's story. They never found the person. That's why they destroyed the city. But they saved Lot. Most people think Lot was the one person they met. No, the Bible says they were looking for one person to save this city. They never found them.
Right.
That means Lot wasn't even the person.
Right.
Okay? They destroyed the city. Straight up. They said, don't look back, which is another lesson
Don't look back.
in nation building. Or you stay stagnant. The wife looked back, she turned to a pillar of salt. That's a stagnation. Now, of course, they put that on the women because the Bible is what it is.
Right.
But the real story, don't look back. Forward ever, backwards never. This is Kwame Ture. This used to be the same. Now we so caught up in our history.
Right.
And we think it's right. Because you say, yo, I'm respecting my ancestors. Let me dig back to the history. When you really look at your ancestors, they'll come right to you and say, man, that history, nothing is right. It's better you go forward. Go forward. What would your parents say to you if you had a 1,000-year-old parent and they popped up right now? They would tell you to go forward. They would tell you to go backwards. They say, look, anything you want to know, I'll tell you. Okay, anything you want to know, I'll tell you. What I really want you to do, though, is go forward. This is what it is. You guys are moving forward. Literally. I said this 20 years ago about us copping our own land and doing our own thing. That was 20 years ago.
About 10 years.
About 10. Well, yeah. 15 years ago. Some time ago. 10 years. Look, at least it was 5.
I'm like that,
At least it manifested.
And that's manifested. You're in the future now. That's why I'm so excited here, because I'm in it.
Yeah.
It's like we're in it. We're in it. We're not dreaming about it anymore. We dreamt. It's here. Now we're here. Now from here, where do we go? If you guys were concentrating on your past and you would not be here. You had to see something in the future to get here. And that's the point. That's the point. When people are doing something, wise people take notice. We don't read books. We do. I got all kinds of books. But even when you read books, you realize, there comes a time when you gotta look at this and be like, this is the truth. It's not no words. It's not nothing. It's water. Can we live without this? No. Let's start drinking. That's it. There's no words. There's nothing. It's this and me, and that's it. And that's where we at right now. But most people can't hear that. And that's the sad part. That's the job of the teacher now. That's where we are now manifested in the world, to show people, listen, this is water, yo. You can drink that and live. And to you, it's simple. Yo, this is water. You can drink it and live. Just yesterday, I was in Durham. Durham.
Yeah, you're in Durham.
We up there ripping it, okay, doing our thing. At one point, a pregnant woman faints in the concert. So I turned off all the music, let the paramedics come in, scooped her up, put her on the thing, drove her off. I said, obviously she dehydrated. I'm telling the crowd, she dehydrated. And I said, you have to hydrate yourself. And then I stopped. And I said, that means drink water. And the crowd laughed. They bursted in laughter because they knew. Like the whole crowd knew. There's like 5,000 people out there. And they knew. They said, you got to hydrate yourself. I'm talking to black folk. They said, well, right. That means go get the wine. That means go get the beer. That means go get the drink.
Right.
Like,
Let me be more specific.
Right. So I said, that means drink water. And like 3,000 people was like, because they knew damn well they were going over for the spike punch.
Right.
Okay, that's where it was going. And I'm not pointing at that. I just, this is the big punch. I'm like, wait a minute. Watch out, be careful, man. It's the back case. I'm good. So it's like, you know, you do have to. The job of the teacher is to point out the obvious. That's the point. Point out the obvious. It's not no big drawn out thing. It's not a lot of book learning. It's nothing. It's just you've lived long enough to know right from wrong. And live long enough meaning you don't have to be 70, 60, 50. You could be 25. And you know, I lived long enough. I know what it is. Yo, this dude that you... the artist out there. His introduction was dope. I said, well, what is this about? He said, well, I spent 25 years in federal penitentiary. Now I'm out and I do this. I was like, that's a damn good pitch. Because that'll get you on every TV show that's this out. It was like, it was poetry. It was, and then the work. And then the work, which backed it all up. It was like, yo, this is it right here. I appreciated that. And also the brother's art. What's his name?
Carlos Parks.
Carlos Parks.
He did this. Yeah.
Oh, that's hard. I wonder who did that.
Yeah, Carlos.
Carlos hooked
You
y'all.
bought a piece from him, didn't you?
Just today?
That Black Panther piece?
Just today?
One of my favorites.
Oh, I copped that.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that right there.
I'm gonna have to find out where y'all putting it, cause I
Oh, it's
enjoy
going in the temple.
I enjoy frequently
that's
running
going
around
on.
Gonna be out here?
That's no. See, wait.
the first one.
We got a temple of hip hop at 55 Ludlow Street in
let's
Newark,
get
New
it.
Jersey. Shout out to Newark.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna take it off your hands. Now it will tour.
All right, we're gonna come visit.
So I will bring it back. In
Pull
fact,
it up.
I tell you this straight up and down. Now that you brought it up, you know I bought this because we're doing an exhibit. We're doing a hip hop 50 years exhibit, and we're putting some of the artwork at 1520 Sedgwick, birthplace of hip hop. But most of the artwork is going to go at the Temple of Hip Hop. We took over the Trek Center in New Jersey. It's this big 23 square foot recreation center, brand new, built in 2016. Government don't know what to do with it. I said, give it to me. I know what to do.
Right.
So the mayor gave it to us and said, go ahead and do it. We said, this is the Temple of Hip Hop. We got every graph right in there. We're gonna do the whole building up. Okay, the whole thing's done. But we need teachers. We need teachers. And I met about 5, 6 of them here, right here today. One of which I walked over, Carlos. Boom. I walked right up on his art. The art was so dope, I had to say it. I hope this ain't AI. Said, yo, he said, no, quickly. I did this. And that's when he came with his whole script.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I got to get that right there. And I'm gonna get some more stuff and commission him to do other scenes, because he got the skill.
Yeah.
So he should do other scenes and stuff like that, but we just took that piece. So we're putting it up at the temple in Newark, New Jersey. Now keep in mind, you guys are ahead of us in this way. You're leading. The reason we in Newark, New Jersey is because we asked Mayor Ross Baraka, we said, yo, we want a space for hip hop like Chinatown or Little Italy, Little Armenia. In cities, you have these little sections of town that everybody could go to and enjoy the culture. Why there's no hip hop section of town? So Ross Baraka said, it's Newark, New Jersey. Let's do this place. It was called Ninth Ward, Weekway section of Newark, New Jersey. Said that could be hip hopia. That's what I call it, hip hopia. That could be hip hopia. I said, okay, cool. So the Trek Center is in Ninth Ward. So we chose the Trek Center so that we can educate the people in the neighborhood. And it's so masterful how God is doing this. Because first and foremost, the mayor, Ross Baraka, his father is Amiri Baraka, civil rights activist, formerly called Leroy Jones. His poetry was so sick, okay, during the civil rights movement. He was the MC of his time. Leroy Jones, look up his work. He changed his name to Ross Baraka and threw out this poetry called It's Nation Time. And he kept yelling for nation. Build your own nation. Get your own land. Do your own thing. This is Ross Baraka, Sr. He has 2 kids. This is Amiri Baraka. He has 2 kids. Ross Baraka and Amiri Baraka Jr. He has other kids as well. But these 2 kids, Ross Baraka becomes mayor of Newark, and his brother, Amiri Baraka Jr., becomes his chief of staff. These 2 people are hip hop. Ross Baraka walked into his mayorship with a suit on and the Adidas. He had all types of 24 hours of peace with hip hop. Everybody that, he's brought everybody through as a mayor, okay? Brought everybody through. I came and said, look, I understand the concerts, but where's the real socio-political aspect of our culture. He immediately jumped on and said, do it like this over here. And he's trying to raise the whole Newark up. Now, I mention that because you guys are on the cutting edge of this. Okay? Hip hop is winning political office everywhere. I used to be an avid, I don't vote guy. I actually still am. But I'm a philosopher looking at the truth. And the truth is what changes my views. I'm not stuck in one mindset. I think the whole voting process is a scam and a fraud. I think democracy is flawed. I think capitalism is flawed. I think the whole system is flawed. I don't urge people to vote. But now the truth. Hip hop is winning political office. Whether I like it or not, whether I can still have my opinion. But the truth, hip hop is winning politics, mayors, senators, governors. I'm talking to Senator Chuck Schumer, who swears he's an MC. Senator Chuck Schumer, I said, look, I want the government to say hip hop is a culture and you're gonna do something with it. Now I know you're not. Not that you're not, you can't. It's too much bureaucracy. They can't even get the stimulus. Like, look what they argued over now, okay? They can't even get their own self together. Here I come with hip hop, okay? They can't even figure it out. But in symbolism, and as a show, okay, Senator Chuck Schumer, write this up. He writes it up, he hands on. I'm a hip hop senator. Eric Adams, Mayor Eric Adams, I'm a hip hop mayor. Everybody, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, everybody, mayors, all hip hop. Now we got about 3 to 5 more years. And now we're gonna be in positions to make real moves. Like this land becomes some federal something, if you even want that. But there's perks to being called a reservation. Ooh. Ooh, did I say that? There's perks to it. The Native Americans will be like, no, don't do it. And you better listen. But there's some Native Americans, those that run the casinos, that'll be like, wait a minute, you really want to get this pop? Now, I don't know if we're going to put a casino out here. Community. Native Americans pushing Yukons and Benzes. We still got the image in our mind that they in a TV. And they living in 18-bedroom mansions, Native American, owning their own land, sovereign before the government. But they show us on TV, them getting beaten, whipped, and they laughing too. Native Americans watching a 70-inch screen TV, laughing. Yo, look, they beat them. Now go to the store in the Benz.
Full tank.
Full tank. What? While we sit here, not we, but our people, sit there watching 12 Years a Slave and some Cherokee getting beat up. That ain't what's really happening.
Right.
That's not what's really going down. What's really going down is black men have land out here. And it seems like black women are running things out here. It seems like it. Seems like the kids are happy. Every kid I met today had a smile on his face. Her face. Their face. They're yelling and screaming. That's how you know you in civilization. Not when you hear adults laughing. When you hear the kids laughing. Now you know you in civilization at that point. They have no cares, no worries, no nothing. They running around. Well, that's what you guys have achieved here, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I can tell other people, no, you're slow. Because I came from a place that was already ahead. I just came from a place that solved the problem. Why don't we go support that place? You claim you about this and this. Well, there's a place that we can all support, especially hip hop. Especially hip hop. I don't expect black people to do this, and I say that with respect. rich or powerful, whatever it is, Black African American. I don't expect them to understand this. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. I don't want to call nobody name, but like these PhDs, Black PhDs. I don't think they understand it. I can't. If they did, they'd be here.
Right.
You would have already got a call saying, "Yo, I heard." I don't see. They don't understand this, and so you got to ask yourself, even of your own intelligence, because to you it seems normal and obvious. This what we doing. This where we going.
Right.
But it's obvious because you're obviously you're on that level. You're above average. And that's the problem with above average people. What they do, they see it as normal. If you ask Jordan, Michael Jordan, his whole career, he'll tell you, I was just playing the game. And you never hear Jordan say, I'm Jordan.
Putting in work.
I'm just putting my work. This is what I'm doing. This is what you want to win the game.
I love basketball. I live in the gym.
Right. Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But other people looking like, yo, this dude just jumped from the foul line.
Right.
Yo, did you? I've been doing that since I was 14. I've been doing it. So it's like here, the one thing I would say, is you guys are geniuses straight up in our time. Straight up, this is what genius is. This is what it is. Not TV, not a book, not any of that. This is what it is. And if you can't read this, then no book is gonna matter. You're not gonna understand nothing if you can't read this.
Right.
Read life, read what's actually going on, read the truth.
Right.
And this inspires me, really. This inspires me, really. This is so inspirational because we need a water source. Hip hop needs a water source.
Straight up.
Like, think about this hip hop. And I'm saying this might be it.
Live alkaline water. We here for hip hop.
This might be it. This is
Live alkaline water.
live alkaline water. And made by hip hop.
The official water of hip hop.
The official. Yo, dude, y'all should show them. Maybe not. I don't know. It might be security reasons. But you got a full irrigation water pure in the Matrix. Okay? In the
When we
Matrix.
stepped outside of the Matrix.
Oh, you know that. Yo,
When we came down the rocky lane,
Matrix.
exit off the Matrix.
boom, you totally unplugged. In the movie, I forgot which one was, maybe 2. I think it was 2. Reloaded. Where Neo is late night with, I guess, the head of the whole thing. Older white man, white hair, they standing on the balcony talking. And the older white man, he says, he points to the water. First thing, this is the first thing they start the conversation. And he said, you see that tank over there? I don't know what it does, but I know it has something to do with the purification of our water. I don't have to know everything about it to know that that's what it does and that's what I needed to do.
Right.
And I always thought about the script writer saying, did they think or know or did they? Because anybody studying anthropology knows you cannot have a civilization without a river. Some kind of water source. And it can't be the beach. It gotta be a river, fresh drinking water, fresh water. Okay? This is where civilization begins. And so for you guys to come with this, not only is it literally right, it's symbolically accurate. You don't go anywhere without your water source. And so real talk, hip hop should be drinking this water.
It can empower us through the,
Hip hop should be drinking this water. There's a Japanese scientist. Damn, his name escapes me. But he did a whole study on water and how water reacts in bottles. Meaning that when you hold the water, it's reading you. And he did this scientifically. He actually measured the molecules in water based on if you put the word hate on the bottle, what happens to the water. I forgot this guy's name. For the sake of history, his work is cited in a movie called What the Bleep? What the Bleep Do We Know? Find that movie, What the Bleep. In that movie, they talk about his work. He has his own documentary on his work. His name escapes me. He's a Japanese gentleman. That's what I remember. But he does this whole thing on the labels you put on water transforms the water itself on a molecular level. And he talks about how we are 98% water. So the emotions that you're having, you're writing on your real physical being. You're writing on yourself. It's so important to control your emotions. And most of us don't understand that soft drinks and sugary drinks and stuff, they mess with your emotions. Now, it's not that you can't drink a sugary drink or something, but you gotta know this. That if you're gonna drink something, then, I don't know, a minute later somebody say something and you snappy. Yo, some gotta tell you, I just drank a Red Bull. Let me bring it down. I just had a cup of coffee. I don't know, whatever it is, But if you know that, just the knowledge of just being aware that food is mood. Food is mood. Just being aware of that, you start eating happy foods. Fruits are always happy, even when you eat them. Think about the being that doesn't feel pain or separation. That's what plants are. Plants don't feel pain or separation. Scientists say that plants feel pain. No, they don't. They react to you. Scientists only know reaction is pain. If I bite it, if somebody bit me, I'm gonna scream. So if I bite the apple and the apple cringes up, it's screaming. No. Once you understand what a plant is, meaning they say we shouldn't cut down the trees, and that's right on another level. But we never consider the fact, is the trees telling us to cut it down? We never go there. Native Americans did. They realized that oxygen comes from the trees. Okay, oxygen. Well, this thing we breathing in comes from trees. Okay, so if I stop breathing for less than 3 minutes, the first thing I lose is consciousness. For some reason, air is connected to consciousness. If I stop breathing for less than 3 minutes, my heart don't stop. My brain does. Actually, brain doesn't stop. I faint. I lose consciousness. So if oxygen is a major part of us being aware, and the oxygen comes from the trees, how do we know that the trees are not telling us, cut me down and turn me into something else? Because your reality is if you get cut down, you're dead. But I live on forever. If this is wood, the tree is still here. You painted over it. You chopped it. Right. You turned it into a table. You did all this stuff with your own perception. And you never looked at my perception. You never realized that as an orange, I was hoping to get inside your body. I want to transform. I want to be like you. I don't want to be on this tree. Can you eat me so I could unite with you? I'm only cells. I'm not this apple you holding. I'm the cells in it. When you eat this thing, I go into you and live a whole new life. I actually actually become you. I actually become you. So how do we know the trees are not telling us? And how do we know that the trees are not sick and telling us dumb stuff? Like the trees are angry or sad or depressed. And through the oxygen, they making us depressed. Half the country's depressed, you know. And 80% of Americans have a mental disorder. 80, did you hear the number? 80. Okay?
Might be more.
There is more, it's actually 100%, but
Right.
I'm citing a scientific journal.
That part.
Okay, I'm citing a journal. 80% of Americans have some kind of mental disorder. 50% of us are depressed. 60% on pharmaceuticals.
Look, I want to sprinkle a few things in here. So I remember one time you was talking about, you know, being disconnected from air and losing consciousness. Like, is air God? You know? And then there was also, so just recently, a couple weeks or so ago, I was with Moo Fresh, and they were building up this retreat space on this land they had. And we were going around, we was with one of the Native Americans, she Native American, but they were building up a sweat lodge. So we were going around scavenging behind buildings, little, you know, wherever we could find the willow trees. Before we cut the first willow tree, like my man's, he was about to, you know, take the saw to the willow tree. Hold on. He had to do a whole prayer.
Word.
He, you know, sprinkle some herbs around.
Right.
Spoke a couple languages. I just received the energy.
Right.
You know, and I
Right.
was taking notes. I was learning.
Right.
But he literally had to interact with the tree, speak to the tree, speak to the universe, speak
Yep.
to God
Yep.
about the purpose, the intentions,
Yep.
the manifestations. There were some of the trees that were seeding out. So as we took some trees, we sprinkled some seeds for more trees to grow.
Right.
You know, so that was a beautiful thing to see.
And trees like that. They like
Well, the only other part I was gonna say, I think the word was like animism or something like
Yes,
that.
yes.
It's
Yes,
like
animism.
different indigenous cultures and whatnot before they even slaughter animal
Right.
or take down
That's
any
right.
plant.
You ask.
They ask, they
Right.
tell their intentions,
Right.
they speak it to the abundance of
Yeah.
spreading more,
Yeah.
and you know they just move in that way where it's like we have a relationship with each other.
Right.
You know, we have a respect for each other and a love for each other. So I just feel like that's kind of where our minds should be when it comes to interacting with each other and when it comes to interacting with our environment.
Absolutely.
You know.
No, you hit it on the nail. And you know what you just made me think of? Ask and it shall be given. We usually think that's ask God and it shall be given. But this ancient ritual right here is like, if you ask anything of nature, most likely nature will give it to you, even its own life.
Right.
Even its own life. Ask and it shall be given. That animism points to everything in nature is imbued with spirit. And so you speak to the spirit of everything that you're going to either take, even down to laying down on the earth. Some indigenous cultures ask, can I lay here? Can I sleep here? And you'll be surprised the answers you get back. Can I lay here? And just as you're about to lay, you see a scorpion right there. No, you can't lay here. You get up and move somewhere else. Can I drink this water? So many times we relied on the horse or the elephant. Really, in Africa, it was like the elephant. That we would walk with the elephant because the elephant knew what the clean water was. If the elephant didn't drink the water, neither did we. If the horse didn't drink, we didn't drink any. The horse drank the water, would smell it and be like, nope, I ain't drinking that. So we knew that. We lived, the animal taught and talked to us. And I say animal, even that is like classism.
Right.
Why is that an animal and I'm a human?
Right.
That's a being and I'm a being.
Right.
Well, what is this? Again, talking English got you seeing English. And so that's an animal.
Yeah.
What is an animal? Like, what word is that?
Right.
That's a being. These things respond to you. That's what I never understand. You say animals are not, animals are not intelligent. How can, like, if a roach is crawling on this thing and you go like this to the roach, he running.
Out of here.
Out of here. How is that not intelligent? You just let me think of this. I did an experiment in my house and it worked. I advise everyone to do it. So I got this house in Atlanta. Trees everywhere. The problem is that the trees bring roaches. I don't like exterminating. I don't like killing. Okay. But we got these big cockroaches that want to come in the house. You got to kill them or exterminate the whole place. So we do the light exterminating. Simone can't take it. She said, I'm getting rid of everybody. I say, look, let's capture these roaches every time we see them. Now, they're not all over the place, but every once in a while, you see one of them on the wall. So you capture them. So I spent a year capturing these big cockroaches. I capture them and throw them outside. Capture them and throw them outside. I noticed at like the 8th or 9th month, they stopped coming. They got the message.
When to spread the word.
They want to spread the word. Don't go in there, we're going to get kicked out.
Right.
And they don't want to be outside because the birds come and eat them. Okay, so outside is not what it is for them. I
They went to
capture.
somebody else's house.
They run to somebody else, right? Probably, and get smashed. But here's the point. They listen. I just ran this experiment, and they listened. There's no roaches in my house. At least not where I am. It's an 8-bedroom house. Now the people, my kids, they're not experimenting nothing, okay? This is dad, okay? And where I stay, my bedroom, kitchen, living room, my frequent places, they're gone. They're gone. And I noticed it because I said, nobody's around no more. What happened? They got the message. It took a minute though. You had to work with them.
Had to be consistent.
You had to be consistent, but they caught it and stopped coming in the house. I would catch them, and they didn't like that. And I'd throw them out, and they didn't like that. So they stopped coming. And I looked at that and I said, man, you could teach anything. You could teach anything if you got the patience. If you've got the consistency to do that. And I looked at that, it's like, yeah, animals as well. Birds, we've been training birds, cats, dogs.
Right.
How can you say a dog is not intelligent? How? But this is what we doing, and we living in this. So here we are in freedom. I would urge clean water, a vegetarian diet if you can. You still live in America. They're gonna force that pig on you. But mentally. Get to the vegan, get to the vegetarian diet. And reason being is because politically correct, our brother chickens and our brother cows and our brother fish, they still suffering. They still suffering. That's why you lean toward the vegetarian diet. It's like being an abolitionist. All abolitionists, weren't able to free Africans. Some even owned slaves themselves and claimed abolition. Sometimes we're in that situation. We're in a situation where the chicken is getting killed. One day the chicken is going to liberate itself. Imagine that. That's what we did. We was on the conveyor belts. Okay? Next with Margie, woof, head off. Steve, head off. Bob, head off. 300 years. Then one of these chickens said, my name is Malcolm X and I'm not going for it. Got a bunch of other chickens to start clucking. Messed up the whole factory. Now there's us, chickens, walking around. Like, talking. Yo, what's up? It's gonna happen. That's how white folk look at us today. Remember, we were animals. In their culture, we were literally the horse. Literally. We was the horse, the pig. That's what we were. Then the horse started talking. I mean, imagine it. You look at yourself as normal human beings because you are. Imagine the people our ancestors were facing, who looked in the eyes of another human being and said, I just don't see you as human. You're like a dog or a cat. And I'm not playing, I'm gonna write it into the law.
Right.
Like, it's one thing to have an opinion. Like the Christians, they got an opinion about you.
Right.
The government said, no, listen to me. I'm gonna write this down. This is what we following. You are chattel, you're real estate. Why? This is the mentality we dealing with. And imagine, with that insane mentality, black folks still on top. 2023. We on top of the game. 2023. They beat us, raped us, robbed us, took everything from us. Language, religion, everything. Everything. Tried to transform us into their slaves. They took everything. We still here. I'm still talking the same old shit. I'm just like my ancestors. Right here, they take nothing. Nothing. All you do is change the language, and the language is mine anyway. So here's the example. Two artists, I give this example all the time. Two artists. One artist, there's an instructor and two artists. The instructor says whoever wins this contest is gonna get $10,000. One artist gets the brushes, the canvas, all the colors, and something to eat. The other artist, he turns to the other artist, punch a hole in the canvas, takes away all the colors, gives them only the color black, and nothing to eat. Then tells the two of them, now go create a masterpiece. The one who had everything, colors, canvas, something to eat, they come back with a masterpiece. Straight up and down, the whole world sees it, that's a masterpiece. The one with the hole in the canvas, one color, nothing to eat, comes back with a masterpiece. Who's the greater artist? You had everything.
Right.
Everything. And still can't produce a masterpiece. I'm giving the story credit. In real life, these white folk don't have nothing. They're not better than us. And I'm saying white folk, as a people, you had everything given to you. Everything, including my gold, my diamonds, and my silver. My land, my language, my mathematics, my astronomy, my architecture. You took it all.
My body.
My body even, my children, you took it all. And in 2023, you still ain't no better than me.
What's real divine about that is how simple.
How's it?
How simple. I mean, even when you were talking about the cockroach, you know, it's like how, like you said, people think that animals aren't intellectual, that we are so much smarter than them because we can create technology and things. But they took the simple things that they have and communicated. We're not welcome there. We got to get up out of here.
We got to get up out of here.
You know, and who's to say that that's not smart?
Right.
Why keep getting thrown out over and over again? Just like, you know, with us, we try over and over again to be in somebody else's space and get thrown out over and over again. Yet we gonna try to break in the back door instead of just build our own space.
Why keep coming back if you keep getting thrown out? Black folk, I didn't even apply it that way. But what a great teaching. Right, we doing the same thing. Roaches. We're doing the same thing. To stop going back in the house.
Right.
We didn't get that part yet.
So who's smarter?
Looking to connect that to you. Look, you said you was
You said it took
I
8
was-
though, right?
Took 8 months.
It took 8 months.
Shit, how long it's been taking us?
Well, like you said,
800 years?
you put them back, which ones got smashed? Only the ones go back to tell the story.
Right.
And I was gonna say to connect it to you, you said you was living homeless. You ain't even get a space in the shelter for years. You were just
Out.
on your way to fulfilling your position and where your soul was leading you,
Yes.
know. And you eventually Right here, right now.
Yeah.
That's the
KRS-One.
story
Yes.
of hip hop.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the story of hip hop. Started out in the park.
With nothing.
With
But the
nothing.
park.
And was living it up.
Chilling. We didn't know we were poor.
Right.
We learned that
Somebody
later.
told you.
Somebody told us we were poor.
Right.
Right, later on in life.
Wasn't even looking for the millions and
Right.
platinum records.
That's when you realize you were poor. So you start looking for that house. When you start, right,
Come on, rappers. Why they sold couple million?
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Right.
Lost your whole point of view. You was already good. But because you wanted this over here, that made you impoverished. It made you poor. Only because you wanted this. Like when you say, I ain't got no money. The next question should be compared to who?
Right. And what is money?
And what is money? Wait.
What is currency? What is value?
What is this? Did you ever question what this is?
Right.
Because if you question it, you also have the ability to not get involved. You have a choice. If you question it, you give yourself a choice. Do I want to engage this? Do I not? You know, and a lot of times what we're being told to engage in is a scam. It's a scam.
Right. A setup.
A setup most of the time. You know, I was shocked. You know, I would say, Simone, I said to my wife about 2 years, maybe 4 years ago, I didn't like the car she was driving. It was an older model, some car we had. And I didn't like the car she was driving. I said, you know, you should be driving something more flyer than that. You know, you should have something better car. And lo and behold, okay, I get to this car dealership. And the thing is my whole life, I've been a cash dude. Okay? Whole life. People say, yo, you should work on your credit. I say, I know you're right. You're right. I should work on my credit. I should do my credit. But I never worked on my credit. Everything I get, I pay cash. My whole career. I just like it that way. Now, I get to the car dealership. So they look up KRS, they look me up. Credit. They say, you not even on the list. Like the guy comes out, and the thing, he said, I don't believe this. He said, you are true to your records. And I don't know what he's talking about. He said, you are true to your records. I said, what is it? He said, you off the radar. I looked in 3-4 different credit check places. Your name don't even come up. Okay, you're not in the system at all. Now there was a part of me that said, well, damn, maybe I should try to, you know, get a credit card and try to do my thing, you know, try to get my credit. Then the other part of me said, nah, hold up, I'm good right now.
Maintain.
Because here's the point. The reason he ran back was he said, you pay cash for everything, right? I said, yeah. He said, you are God. This is what it is. And this is what it was, because credit with no cash is nothing. Banks will tell you that in a minute. You have a high credit score. If they don't see that income, okay. So at the end of the day, it was like, here we are now at the place. And the cash guy, cash rules everything around. Okay, the cash dude is the one that drove off with the car. Now, of course, Simone's credit is perfect. So they put the car in her name. They put the car in Simone's name, okay? But they knew it was KRS. I'm in the building.
Right.
They say, we're giving you this car, okay? You're not gonna leave here without this car.
Right.
But I had no credit.
You did. You had KRS.
Ding. Ding, ding, ding. And with that credit, they found their way. They didn't even have to do Simone. They asked me whose car is it gonna be? I said, I'm getting it for my wife. They said, well, the guy had it for her name. And that was the end of it. But it was like, no, if I said, no, it's my car, they would have found a way to just deal with me. And this is what I mean about nothing is worth anything. Everybody putting a price tag on worthless stuff. Nothing's worth anything. You just make it, and then you say, it's $5,000. The same thing for $5,000 could be $5, What determines prices? Well, what makes one thing $5 and something $500? What? Because this is a refrigerator and what, that's a lollipop? No, the lollipop could be $500. You get to the right auction. It's lollipop. Put the right story where the bidding starts at 1,000.
Held by KRS.
It was licked by
2023.
it was licked by KRS. So the bidding starts at 500. You know,
Right.
what is worth anything? And this is what we got to think about as ourselves as a people. You know, we're not worth anything, but yet we're priceless. And if we keep putting prices on ourselves, we diminish ourselves. We diminish ourselves. We should remain priceless. And the only way to remain priceless is to really engage charity. Charity makes you priceless. When you can give something away, even if all you got is $1, if you could give off 25 cents, you rich. You rich. If two people sitting there with nothing, and you got $1, and you say, here's 50 cents, you're rich. In this situation, you're wealthy. Most people are waiting for the $1 million to come.
Right.
And say, I'm wealthy with $1 million. That's what I said. I look on the internet, they say I'm worth $10 million. I'm still trying to figure out who is doing this. Like, is that a bank thing? Is that, like, what is that?
Right.
Who's saying that? Because that same person will turn around and say, nah, I think today you're worth $5, Chris. If you can say I'm worth 10 million, whoever said that can also say I'm worth 1 million. Who are you to give me any value at all? And this is the Grammys. This is the American Music Award. This is the Oscars. Who are you to validate me? And this is the point, but our people don't see it that way. They run to the Grammy, run to the Oscar, and they only want the validation of this one dude. Like I said, if Haiti told you to come, if Ghana told you, you wouldn't come. If Puerto Rico said, we got the award for you, you wouldn't go. If Cuba said, we got the award for you, you wouldn't go. All these artists. But you let the Grammys say, yo, we Oscar. Like I said, you run it. This is the problem. This is the problem right here. We're giving our value away. Then we want to blame other folk for stealing from us. Ain't nobody stealing if you stupid. You own a mountain. But you impressed with his goat. You got billions of goats up in that mountain. But he came with the white goat. Caught your whole head. Now you ready to give up the whole mountain with goats on it for this one white goat. And we don't want to look at our ancestors because we honor our ancestors, but our ancestors made mistakes. That's why we here. What was one of the mistakes? They envied foreigners. They envied them. There's white people, Asians as well, and Arabs did not come into the African land mass stealing. They just came in. And Africans was like, whoa, oh my God, look at them. There was another chief sitting there going, don't get caught up in that. Cool off, get with your culture, you're just as beautiful. Look at them, the jewelry, the hair, maybe even the skin complexion. Black folk messed up over light skin, dark skin. Years for years we messed up. Imagine our ancestors. Blue, black people. Okay? See this white dude get off the boat. Some of us was like, so what? Another bunch of us was like, oh, I wish I was. And there you go. We still doing it. 2023. We're here. We are here. 2023, our best minds are still envying other people.
Using their metrics.
Using
And
it's not just white folk we looking at everybody except ourselves. We look at everybody. You know what I'm saying? And this is the issue. You guys have a opportunity to liberate our people from that. That's what this means. Here you can be what you want and how you want. I didn't sense no envy out here. Everybody here seemed like they knew who they was or are. Everybody I met here, of one consciousness, of high consciousness. This is such a magnificent place. Such a magnificent place to come. And it's not just the land. It's the people that understand where they at. They understand where they at. You did a great thing. You did a great thing, and it goes down in history too.
Absolutely.
It goes down in history, or up in history. He's getting it right here.
Yeah, if I could, I'm gonna wrap it up with it. So, you spoke on different relationships we have with books and different teachings and whatnot, and my thoughts and recollections, and going within my soul and whatnot. I was thinking like, so some of the original masters, original teachers, educators, creators came before any written word.
Yes.
So that means what? That it's a lot of that wealth already within us. Sometimes you gotta go within and extract that and bring it out.
Yes.
And I'm gonna connect that to
yes.
Soul Society, that came off just understanding that you gotta go within.
Yes.
It's a certain divine, unique responsibility that I got, that we all have.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
And I was so busy looking outside of myself that I got to a point of realization that what am I here to do? And I had to sit with myself, And then furthermore, we on a consistent journey of evolving, learning. Sometimes you gotta relearn lessons you already learned. So in 2020, when everything shut down, we in our pandemic mode and everything, and it was all these different teachers and educators that I was following, and I was just finding myself like being drowned in information and education. And it got to one point where one day the dude I was watching, he was like, what y'all need to do is turn this off, start looking at me, and go out there and do what you need to be doing. And I said,
the last message.
And I stopped watching. I stopped, like when I catch certain things, I would tap in, but for the most part, like, what do I need to be doing?
Right.
I gotta educate some people. I need to be doing some writing, and shoot, that led me to just asking, like, speaking things into existence, working things into existence. Like when we initially established the idea of Soul Society, we was thinking about land and sovereignty and things of that nature. And when we connected with you, and we was having this conversation about getting into this land at some point.
Right.
I didn't even think about the water source aspect, and then furthermore, I just started to ask, well, where the farmers at? I was like, dang, I'm looking at all the essentials being brought off the shelves and whatnot, and I'm like, dang, you can have $1 million and not be able to buy no water right now, and I just started to be like, look, we had been talking about growing our own food and doing this, that, and the third, but at the same time, we had so many other distractions. I feel like it was chapters of life and things we were supposed to be doing at them times, but at the same time, I had to like, we need to stop playing with this thing before it really come crashing down on us. So I started to ask verbally, I started to send my message and post out on Facebook, where the farmers at? Let's build up a network of farmers. And that led me to this water source. Somebody like, this is a brother you need to connect with. They got their own self-sufficient community. They building up their own land. They got their own water source. They growing their own food. So
what more do you need
to
plug me in?
Right.
And the rest has been history. We took the baton.
You took off running since I
We took the baton and ran with it, So, and what's crazy, my brother, so, I don't know, it might have been a year or so before that. There was a sister that was telling me about this land.
Right.
This before the pandemic.
Right.
But we sold, we got our thing going on. Yeah, you right. but I was kind of waiting on a formal invitation and all that.
Right.
And I never really initiated that connection.
Right.
Year later, my good brother Kanai, he rounding up the troops. Yo, we about to go out here and make this connection. Sign me up. I'm in there.
Right.
Now, mind you, that could have happened a year before. Could have happened 10 years before. I'm at A&T, 45 minutes from this source. And this brother been out here doing this, just getting this thing established. But I was just doing my thing, learning, reading the books. But I'm like, yo, I'm realizing at this point, it's time to activate that knowledge. You know,
Key.
close these books
And start activating the
and
knowledge.
apply the knowledge. Now, maybe you might get to a point where you need to, okay, you get to, all right, let me get back into some lessons and figure out how to evolve it to the next point. But you did enough learning. You watch thousands of YouTube. You watch 100 KRS-One lectures. Apply the message.
Right.
And we started to apply it. And now we talking about actions and demonstrations.
Right.
So this is where we are and how we got here.
Oh,
We wrapping it up now.
We
So
wrapping.
that's the message. That's the word. That's the
That
lesson.
is the word, and what a great way to leave, to end on. Activate the knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't just study and read and listen.
Apply.
Apply. There's a time to study and read, and you may come back to it. But apply the knowledge.
Facts.
That's the only way we're gonna really manifest and get past what we're presently dealing with. And actually, y'all not even dealing with it. See, I leave the promised land now to go back to prison. Okay, it's called the Holiday Inn.
But you on your Harriet Tubman, somebody got to
I'm
go
on my
back.
Harriet.
Let them know where the light
I'm
at.
on my Harriet
Yeah.
right now. That's right.
Yeah.
And let somebody know there's a liberated zone here.
Yeah.
And so, look, I'm glad I came. I saw. We've been talking about this for ages. Me getting over here.
Yeah.
And now that I see it, it's on.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, you know it's on and it's popping right now. And that
Yes, sir.
question has to be dealt with. How fast do you want people in here? How quick? How do you want to be seen? What do you want this place to be visualized as? That's the point. You already answered it, but your visualization of this place is so successful that you got to decide how you're going to keep those who yearn for what you're offering. They yearn for this.
They're going to appreciate
So
it. take
many
care of it.
millions of people. No, they will appreciate it. But here's the thing, though. 1 million people on this land. This is the thing, and you're there. You're there. We might be messing up right now. You showing this right now? This interview right here. We might be screwing everything up
Nah, we
right
not.
now.
We're not speaking that.
Yeah, we pulling power into it and
You
elevate.
gonna tell the world where you are?
They don't know where they don't know where we at.
Barbie said that everybody can't go.
To be here, it's
And you ain't gonna be here.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all know
It's a
where
proven fact.
If
It's
you
already
ain't meant
happened.
to be here, the land itself gonna
And
kick
I'm like, most of the time, I live here. You're not meant to be here.
Word. You ain't
So
gonna be
what?
here.
It's a hill.
You know what? You took it to the next, you took it to the real level. And that's the truth. That's the protection. See, there's a purpose here. Right. And if you ain't supposed to be here, you just won't.
Wrong.
And that's the point. And so we might be protected there. In fact, what we have to do then in that, because that's some military talk right there. Because the issue is look, it may be your family member. Oh, Jesus. Did I say it? Did I say it?
You said it.
You know that you might, that it can't be on the land. The land will start bubbling. You know, you're like, yo,
clouds just
clouds start coming around. You're like, what's up?
yeah.
Maybe somebody that you close to, or not even close to, but somebody you may want to experience this. And again, they can't. We do it. You see it all the time, even with the temple. People, they say, I want to come, I'll join, but when you actually get there and you say, yo, we practice forgiveness here. We practice charity here. This is hard. This is hard. This is hard. And we know it's hard. You know, we know it's hard. Forgiveness is the hardest spiritual principle ever. Only the masters could have thought about this one. To be able to, somebody wronged you. I mean, it's clear. You're wrong. and you suffer the wrong. You suffer because they wronged you. Then they come back. I'm sorry. You done lived the 5 to 10 to 7 years of the hurt, the pain, the loss. You stole my car and I used the car to go to work. You stole my car. I lost my job. I suffered for 5 years. You stole my car. Now 5 years later, you come back without the car, saying you're sorry. Can you forgive? And here's how you forgive. Can you lend him the car again?
I forgive and I don't forget.
Only the gods, only the gods can respond to that.
There you go.
And it shows you you're human, shows you your human side,
There you go.
and it offers you the divinity. Can you give to thieves?
I'm still working on myself.
I'm still working mine too.
God ain't
Man,
been-
look.
I'm working mine too.
We do not want Simone to come in here barking.
Yo.
Shout out to Simone, the queen.
No
Look,
doubt.
I appreciate you, my good brother. You know what it is. Live
I
alkaline
appreciate
water,
you.
the best hydration in the nation.
Yes, indeed.
I appreciate
We
it.
are the
Love, I
gold.
appreciate you. We did
did
it.
it.
We doing
We did
it.
it.
We
We
gonna
doing it.
continue to do it.
This is just another, step in the process, but
Hey.
the process still in.
And I
motion.
walk off with
Alkaline
the
water, the
scepter.
official water of hip hop.
This is the official water.
Yeah.
This,
Matter of fact, hip hop is already drinking it.
Yeah, of
KRS
course,
drinking
no
it.
doubt.
I'm hip hop.
Let me show
I
you.
drink it.
Let me show you one more time.
Yeah, give it to him.
Freedom in a bottle.
Ooh, talk that.
I just went outside and saw the source of this water.
The best hydration in the nation.
Best
Natural alkaline
hydration. This
spring
is
water,
wonderful.
straight from the source, literally.
Straight from the ground. This was so real out there. You can't build civilization without water. And that's where we at.
We are the gold. That's the message.
We are the gold. The gold mine.
The gold soul.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Gold, everything.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Yeah, they know my name. They know my
Peace and love,
they know
family.
my power, know my-
How y'all feeling today?
Right.
Well, look, all praise due to the Most High. Thank God for another day, the greatest day. And we greatly appreciate y'all coming in to tap in and build with us. And, for those who weren't able to make it but are here in spirit, shout out to them. And we ain't got no time to waste no time, so we're going to get right into it. So this is a Declaration of Independence. Well, what is independence? Independence is our ability to be able to depend on ourselves for our well-being, our survival, and not just to survive, but to thrive. Without independence, there is no freedom. And without power, there is no independence. So how do we activate our power? Well, our power is first and foremost in the people, in the unity of the people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad once said, our unity is more powerful than the atomic bomb. So, look, we in this mathematical scientific world, so we must move with purpose on purpose. So, the formula for power is power equals work over time. So how much work can we get done over a certain amount of time? So our goal in February is to be able to harness the power and energy of 10,000 of our people through the We Are the Gold Challenge. The We Are the Gold 10,000 Strong Challenge is calling on 10,000 of our people to purchase at least $10 or more and drink live alkaline water. A black-owned water from black-owned land, straight from a natural alkaline water spring. Now that's power. That's our first step to freedom, independence, and activating our power.
Anointed like a pastor, I know the truth. Like a hacker, might stir the pot. Like it's batter, done with the chatter. Time for the action. Wake up, wake up. I said.